We've got a lot to cover. Today, I am here with the founder of LinkGraph and Search Atlas, and I'm going to do my best with your name. That's what I was trying to ask you before was Manick Bhan. Is that right?
Mon- Manick Bhan.
Manick Bhan. Okay, so I was not close at all. Anyway, we're here with Manick, who has a great tool and a long history in SEO and a lot of experience that he's going to share with us today. So thanks for taking the time. I know how running a business like yours can be incredibly demanding, so I appreciate you taking a moment to talk to us. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and give us like your origin story and where you are now and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. And first of all, Chris, it's great to be here. I love Legit. I love this community. It's an amazing group of people. My backstory is 6 years ago. I started an SEO agency. It was called LinkGraph, and we used to work with enterprise brands as well as agencies. And we did a lot of white label for our agencies, and we learned what it meant to have to get SEO results for clients. And so we dealt with every issue that an agency deals with, such as client retention, clients canceling on us, issues with scaling. How do we scale up our fulfillment, fulfillment quality, running into issues with what we were doing, wasn't working, trying to be able to get results, not be able to get there all the way. And then, of course, the tool bloat. As we scaled and we grew past 200, 300 and brands that we were working with, we were paying a fortune in software tools. So that was sort of the beginning of everything. And when we set out to build our agency and make it successful, we knew that we needed to automate a lot of the SEO strategies that we were working on, and also really figure out what was working. Obviously, as we all know, Google likes to change the algorithm. Things and strategies that used to work stop working, and sometimes there are new things that people figure out how to do using advances in technology that work really well. Using AI and a lot of the new evolutions to the technology landscape. So we've just been always students of the game and trying to figure out how do we get sites #1 on Google. So today, looking forward to sharing our research, sharing our insights, and talking about why Search Atlas. We hope we can kill Ahrefs and bring people to our platform.
All right. So first of all, I can relate to a lot of that. Like the reason I have Legit is because I was working as a freelancer and saw things that weren't working and saw an opportunity to do it better. And that's kind of why we have it. So it seems like a fairly similar journey in that regard. So I can definitely relate to that. But can you talk about a little bit, like you talked about the agency, what led you from there to making Search Atlas? Was it you saw tools that were too expensive and didn't do enough, or what was it that, because that's a big pain in the ass for anybody that doesn't know. Starting a SaaS is not nearly as easy as it looks like on Twitter. It's a lot of work, a lot of failure, a lot of money, and a lot of time. So why did you decide to take that leap?
That's a great question, and you're absolutely right. Starting a SaaS is not for the faint of heart. You have to be willing to really take a lot of pain, a lot of punches. Early days are really challenging before you're able to build something of value. So this is my third technology company. It's my favorite. It's the best company I've ever built. I love SEO. I love this industry. It's my life's work. But my previous companies that I worked on, I built those. I exited those, and I learned how to build software. And so I'm always looking for opportunities for places where there's a need for technology to solve a real problem. And my backstory is my first company. It was a live entertainment ticketing company called Ruckus.com. We were competing with the big dogs in the ticketing space like StubHub, SeatGeek, TickPick, all these big guys, Ticketmaster. And our entire funding round was their lunch money. For them, it was just a drop in the bucket.
I know that.
So we had to, yeah. And what's interesting is a lot of people don't realize this, but the biggest ticketing company in the world, it's not Ticketmaster, it's Google. If you think about it, people find tickets, right? They go to Google first, and Google has a big piece of that ecosystem through paid media. They own at least 40% of all the value generated through AdWords. So mastering Google was kind of the first thing that I needed to do in order to build that company and make it successful. So we partnered with Shazam, and we got over 1 million backlinks from Shazam.com, which is like a DR90 website. How many of you guys in chat would love to get 1 million backlinks from Shazam? Right? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. I'm sure that I'll just speak for all of them and say yes.
Yeah, especially 1 million of them, right? So we did a deal with them, and I was expecting that it was going to blow out our SEO. We would get to #1 overnight, or maybe after a couple of days. It didn't work as well as I thought it would. And so part of what we did here was it started with a question, which is why did that not work? And then also, what does it take to get to number one on Google? What's the science behind it? And that question has been guiding me for the last 6 years.
That's how long Search Atlas has been around, 6 years?
LinkGraph began 6 years ago.
Okay, I see.
Search Atlas, we launched it really only about 9 months ago, but we've been building the core technology that's here for over 5 years.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I first started hearing about it in November last year at a live event where Gregory Ortiz and Terry Samuels both mentioned it to me. So my next question is severely important. Why do you have a giraffe in the background?
So that actually is a good question, and I'm afraid I don't really have a great answer for you. My wife, she's obsessed with Facebook Marketplace, and so she just goes on there, and I think it's just one of her favorite pastimes. She finds stuff in Facebook Marketplace. I think you paid like $25 for that giraffe.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right,
and we have a 2-year-old.
Oh, well, that explains it. All right. So let's talk about it's not LinkGraph. LinkGraph, I'm pretty impressed with, but let's talk about Search Atlas because I think that's why most people are here today. Can you give us do you want to, I don't know if you have a demonstration you can do, or if you want to just tell us about what's cool about it and some of the cool features. I know you've got like AI content and link analysis and a whole bunch of stuff that I wouldn't do justice to talking about.
Yeah. Let me share my screen and I'll take you guys through it. We'll get into it a little bit.
All right, let me do this and there we go.
All right, are you guys able to see this?
Yep. Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. Awesome. So, so Chris, kind of as I alluded to, we really began Search Atlas by experimentation. We were doing single variant testing, which just means we have a web page, we have a website, we're trying to rank it better in Google. Let's just change one thing and only one thing, and let's see what happens. We used to do a bunch of things. We were throwing everything against the wall because our clients needed the results. And so in the early days, we didn't have time for experiments. We didn't have the resources or the patience or the bandwidth for it. But we realized that the only way that we can make real headway and make progress is by really mastering the game, by getting down into the science of it. I have a mathematics background in physics, so this really spoke to me. And we started by doing a lot of correlation studies where we would look at the first page of Google and we would look at all of the different potential ranking factors that were at play at what was determining the ranking of the sites that we were seeing there. And the tricky thing about this is that it's not the same for every keyword. It's different. And it's hard to fully understand always at an individual SERP level what the ranking factors are. But when you start to look at thousands and thousands of SERPs, that's when the correlation starts to come to life and you're able to understand. And what we saw change over the last 5 years is that authority used to be a really important signal. It's not as important as it used to be. It used to be everything. And now other factors like content, the UX signals that Google's receiving, those factors are more important. And I like to say it's become a little bit more democratic than it used to be. Because as you guys know, authority building is not cheap. Getting backlinks from high quality sites, that is the most expensive part of our SEO strategy. So seeing other factors come into play that make SEO more democratic, more cost efficient, that was really exciting. And so as we saw that, we've been doing a lot of experiments and we've learned a lot of things. And I will share with you guys some white papers, some key insights that we took away from that, those experiments that we've been doing over the last 5 years. Okay. So I think one of the big questions that a lot of people ask me is, so what's different about Search Atlas? Like why Search Atlas over the other tools that are out there? And one thing that I'm sure you guys can all resonate with is Ahrefs, especially if you're just getting into SEO, is very complicated and it's very technical. It's a reporting tool, right? It has just reports and data and more reports, but it doesn't have a lot of insight. You have to understand how to use it to figure out the answers. You have to learn how to use the software to figure out what to do. Or you have to use the data from the software to do your link building outreach or your strategy insights, but it doesn't actually do things for you. What we wanted to do is build something that was automated and action oriented and does a lot of the work for you. And I will show you guys some of the things that Search Atlas can do for you in a systematic and automated approach with Auto. The other thing that I always like to say is like the number one person who sells Ahrefs are agencies. When you guys do your demos with clients and you show them their charts in Ahrefs, what do you think your clients do? They just go to Ahrefs and they buy themselves a subscription. You don't get the credit for teaching them, for walking them through it, and they don't get retained in your world. And I always thought that wasn't fair, because as the agencies, we're the ones who are working with the customers. We're the ones who are trying to get them results, whether we're freelancers or building up our agencies, or we've established an agency. We need a product that's really going to be white labeled and speak to our brand and not their brand. So we departed from that and we said our entire platform has to be white labeled. And the reporting even that we generate for you, connecting your Google Search Console, your GA, your GBP, that's all fully white labeled as well. And we're a platform that's really about agencies and freelancers. We're not focusing on the brands. We're not focusing on the generalist audience. We're really just focusing on agencies. And our platform can cancel out over $5K worth of SEO software per month. And our lowest plan is $99. So here's like a layout of all of the tools that you'll be able to cancel with Search Atlas. And it ranges from your big enterprise kind of platforms like your SEMrush and your Ahrefs, down to your agency reporting tools if you're trying to build client reports, also to the AI content optimization, NLP optimization tools, including keyword research, rank tracking. We've got very, very generous quotas. So one of the things you'll see about Search Atlas is we're not really trying to nickel and dime the agencies. We try to give away as much quota as we can. The subscription cost of Search Atlas is mostly going toward the AI quotas that we give you to use on the platform, as well as the keyword rank tracking credits. We just try to give you more than anyone else has ever given you guys. That's what we're all about, is about helping agencies empower brands. That's our mission statement. And we've also included in our platform site auditing technology, white labeling. We've got local heat maps, GBP technology, and also a dashboard that you can give your customers so that they can see the campaign results and the tasks that you're completing with for them on the platform. So it really does cancel out all these tools. We're also about to announce this, but we are bringing in a press release distribution service into the platform that's going to be included in Autopilot, and also an integration with citations. So you'll be able to build automated citations through aggregator submission through the platform as well. So it's really meant to be an all-in-one. So when just taking a step back from all that, like what is SEO? Like how do we think about all the different strategies? There's so many different people communicating about different ways of ranking on Google. These are the 4 pillars of SEO. All the experiments that we've done have taught us that these are the 4 components that matter, and they are authority and content, technicals, and then UX and behavior. And when we break that down, there are strategies that work for each of these 4 pillars. On the authority side, we've got link building and guest posting and PR distribution, PR stacks. My friend Terry Samuels did an amazing presentation at SEO Rockstars, an event last year, about his approach to PR stacking. Definitely check that out. And also cloud stacks are a really effective way to do authority building as well. And there's some amazing gigs on Legit that you guys already know about that will allow you to build authority for your websites. So that is like a key pillar. And there's a lot of approaches that work to build up the authority. In the GBP landscape, I'd say it also includes reviews and other trust signals that we put into our GBPs. And then on the content side, there are a lot of strategies that work on content, but one of them is building the knowledge graph of Google and inserting it into the page. And we'll talk about that maybe a little bit more. Also, knowledge-based trust, KBT, is a new SEO signal that I have not seen a lot of people talk about. We discovered it in some of Google patent literature that talk about how they evaluate how authoritative websites are just based on their content. And they actually show you how they're looking at websites' PageRank versus their KBT. And they're using KBT now to figure out whether a site's trustworthy or not. And of course, like the quality of the content on the page. And then on the technical SEO side, There's so many different components to this. On the technical side, it's basically everything you can't see. It's all the invisible content in the HTML, which includes the schema markup. It includes your on-page header elements. It includes your internal linking structure for how you're passing page rank across the website. It also includes other signals that Google, we've learned, pays attention to, like, is your business address in the footer? That's really important. For Google Maps, are you embedding your map into the landing page that's connected to your GBP or not? That's really important. So there's a lot of components. And then finally, last piece, the UX and behavior piece is all about those signals that Google's getting from users when they interact with the search results. Chris, did you pay any attention to that subpoena that Google got, where they were pulled in and they had to talk about how the search engine worked?
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember the specifics.
Basically, Google had to go open kimono and share how search works, and they confessed that they're not as smart as everyone thought that they were or likes to say they are. And of course, they're going into Congress and saying this, so they're trying to position themselves like, please don't beat me up. We're not as omniscient or as thoughtful as everyone thinks. Really, we rely on our users and what they click on to tell us whether the content that they're seeing is actually relevant or not relevant. And so the click signals and what's happening when people land on our website, that data is super valuable to Google, and they're tracking it. And they're getting it from a few sources, including Google Analytics. They're getting it a lot from the search results themselves on Google Search and Google Maps. And so they're using that to figure out, what do users think about your pages? And they have that data. It's called historical data in their database, and they use that information to determine how to rank websites. So these four factors, the confluence of them, how they come together, that's the ranking system that they're using. Yeah. Any questions on that, Chris? What do you think? Does this resonate with you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just listening and taking notes. So keep going if you're good.
Awesome. Perfect. So just to kind of talk about Autopilot, and I'll actually here, this might be a good point to actually show you guys what it looks like. What does it do? So let's pop over here. Are you guys seeing this?
Yes.
Excellent. So this is Auto, and what Auto is, it's an engine that is basically automating the delivery of all the SEO things that we could automate for you, that you can give to your clients. So some of the stuff that is like flossing your teeth, and like, a lot of like the nitty gritty of SEO that we've all had to do by hand so painstakingly. Things like updating our title tags, updating our meta descriptions, filling in like the missing image alt text. These are things that are just so painful. And if you do them by hand, that could be all you have budget for to do for your client. And so what we're doing now is we're using AI, and we're computing the answers to all the titles, the metas, the images, the meta keywords, all of your headings, all of the on-page elements. And we're delivering that through the JavaScript heading tag. So all you have to do is add this technology to your client's website. It's a JavaScript code. It doesn't matter whether it's a WordPress site or a Shopify site. It can be anything. It can be built in any way. All that matters is that this piece of JavaScript is installed in the header, and Search Atlas will crawl the website, and it will analyze the website painstakingly, figuring out how do we optimize every page of the site using SEO best practices for on-page SEO. So it fixes all the technical issues for you. And of course, you can decide if you want to enable certain optimizations or you don't want to. And when you enable them or disable them here in the dashboard, it will immediately propagate to the website instantly. So you make this change, and you will see the change on the website happen in real time. This is already working. We're doing this on over 100 sites that are part of our alpha test group. If you guys want to add your sites in, I'll show you there's a wait list and how to get on that. So the technical optimizations. Next is the content optimizations. So of course, going back to that 4 pillars, authority, content, technicals, UX signals, and behavior, the content piece is critical. And we're seeing now Google's paying a lot of attention to it. We saw last week they had this big announcement about AI content and how they're kind of getting a little bit more into the weeds to try to understand, was this content created for the purpose of manipulating search engines, or was it created for the purpose of helping users? And the way that they're doing that is a lot of different ways that we've seen. But one of those ways is through looking at the content and seeing if that content contains the right entities, the right NLP information, the right topics. And we actually have technology in Search Atlas that is able to, and I'll show it to you right over here, that is able to go into your landing pages. You tell it what keyword you want to optimize the site for. And what it will do is it will perform a instant content gap analysis, looking at all the 20 search results on Google, top 20, and figure out what are they talking about? What are the topics, the entities, the phrases that they're using and that are in common, and then package that as a content gap analysis for us. So here, we're able to see these are all the topical terms, and we're able to see which sites are using it and which sites are not using it. And it doesn't really matter what space you're in. This is for a car accident lawyer keyword in Las Vegas that's localized. It's a very competitive term. And there's a lot of websites that are trying to rank for this keyword, but not all of them are using all these topical terms. We actually did the experiment and we found if you just simply embed these topical terms into your content, it doesn't matter how. I will actually show you the way that we did it. It was so hilarious. We went to Google, we went into our page and we added a div and we just injected all of those focus terms into the page and then hid it. So users can't see it. Only Google can see it. Or if you right click the page's source and you looked inside, you would see these phrases are on the page. And sure enough, we added and boom, immediate ranking improvement. So we were like, this is an aha moment. This is like a eureka moment that teaches us about how Google is ranking web pages based on their content relevancy. And so now that can be fully automated across the entire website through Auto. So you install the pixel and it does connect to your Search Console. It does connect to your Google Business Profile to figure out what keywords are you trying to rank the website for? And it will figure out what it thinks are the top pages and keywords based on the CPC of the keyword, whether it's a commercial keyword or whether it's a non-commercial keyword, and the pages based on how much traffic they're getting. So it tries to figure out what are the most important pages to you. You can obviously override that and choose different pages or keywords if you want to by configuring this knowledge graph up here. But essentially, that's how it works. And then it optimizes and injects all that content into the page for you. And then it does the same thing with questions. So you guys remember when I mentioned knowledge-based trust? It's the way that we show Google that we're knowledgeable based on the factual content of our website. We learned from studying Google's literature, and I spent a lot of time doing this, that Google actually evaluates the internet into these content domains where they break up the internet and separate all these pieces out of content, and they call them knowledge domains. Within each knowledge domain, they make a list of vocabulary, and that's the terms, the facts, all the information that is relevant to that one niche. So maybe you're in plumbing, maybe you focus on plumbing customers, maybe you focus on, I don't know, dog food. It doesn't really matter. But whatever your niche is, you have to become the Wikipedia of that niche. And the way that we become the Wikipedia of that niche is we have to talk about and write about factual content, answer questions, and communicate these facts in a way that Google can understand them. So what we figured out is that Google does this. They basically extract from our webpage what are called triples. And essentially a triple is just think about a fact, like the sky is blue, right? That's a fact. If you're trying to rank for something about the sky, you need to have facts about the sky on there. So injecting that fact into your page and lots and lots and lots of other FAQ questions into the page will actually improve your rankings. And so what we're doing is we're going to Google, we're scraping Google and all of the facts and all the questions that people are asking, and we're taking all those facts and answering them using AI. And we were getting the people also ask questions. We're getting what I call autocomplete questions, which are if you type in the keyword and then who, what, where, when, how, things like that, you'll get a whole other list of questions that are autocomplete questions. And then we also extract the facts and the questions out of those pages that are ranking. And then we give them to you and we AI answer them and inject them into your page. And we can also inject the schema markup for those FAQ questions into the page as well. So that's also automated. Chris, what do you think so far?
That's a ton of information. That's really cool. I didn't know about the I forget what you even called it, but the entity thing that you just showed, that was the NLP thing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of this stuff we've had to spend a lot of time learning from Google's patents, and that's been really informative. Also, we've thankfully, SEO is an amazing community with a lot of great minds, with a lot of bright people. There are a lot of people doing amazing SEO research, and I just want to shout out some people here that come to mind. Obviously, Chris, you're a legend. There's a lot of other great, insightful people like Ted Kabitis, people like Corey Gabor, uh, people like Terry Samuels. Um, there's so many people who share their knowledge so freely to help advance the entire community. And I like to, I believe we're all in this together. We're all here to support the community and support each other so we can all get our clients to page one of Google, and we're really better together. So I'm standing on the backs of other great SEO minds who are also supporting this type of research every day. Oh, and of course, Kyle Roof, who's like one of the legends of SEO testing. So we also have a huge SEO testing team. We've got 8 people on staff. All they do all day is they just run experiments. If there's anyone here listening to this call and you feel like that's you and that's what you want to do, reach out to me. Maybe we can have you join our team. We're always looking for the brightest minds in SEO to help us do these experiments. Not every experiment lands, and that's just the reality of it. I think more than 80% of the time it's kind of a dud or we're not sure. But there are those experiments when they hit and they hit big, they're breakthroughs and they're monumental. So we also had some really successful experiments with internal linking. By just adding internal links from your blog pages to your money pages, boom, immediate uptick. So we automate that as well. Now we can even automate the generation of topical maps where you can build an entire topical map in our software. Let's say you wanted to rank for, here's a keyword in here. I'm sorry, this is our on-page audit tool. Let me go over to the content planner. So what Content Planner does is it analyzes the top 100 results in Google, and it looks for all the keywords that those sites are ranking for. So most people on this call probably are used to doing keyword research, right? And one thing I want to share here is I think keyword research is almost dead now. I think that's a pretty inflammatory statement. If you guys are skeptical, you should be. But I just want to give you guys an example. If you go to any keyword research tool and type in link building or link building services, all the things you're going to see come up are going to be link building this, link building that. But the keyword guest posting, you won't see it. But guest posting is the same concept as link building. Another term that's relevant is niche edits. You won't see those because they're not the same. They don't have the same terms inside them. And so we had to overcome that. And Content Planner allows us to do this and build topical maps for you. So what we do is we look at all the sites that are ranking on Google. We analyze the keywords that those pages are ranking for, and then we run them through clustering. So there's over 1 million keywords in this clustering analysis that have been clustered into a total of 335 clusters. And as you go through these clusters, you can see the keyword difficulty, you can see the search volume, you can see the search intent, and you can filter by these, select all the clusters you want, and then boom, just create these articles. And I'm not going to do it right here, but if you hit create, it will create those articles in our content assistant. And then you can go into the content assistant. You can bulk AI generate those articles, including headings from the first page of Google. So we basically take whatever is ranking on Google already and use that to build a outline model. We take the NLP data that's been effective, that we've seen rank on Google, and we put all these pieces together, including the internal link suggestions to pages on your website, including the FAQ, and including image generation. And here we're using our own model for the image generation. It's very similar to Midjourney, or you can use Midjourney, and you will AI generate fully formed articles. Let me show you guys an example of what one of those articles look like so you can see the quality of it. But we've actually been able to get this content ranking really well on Google. We rank for a ton of keywords for our own website using this. And a lot of that content is AI generated, believe it or not. Even though Google is going after AI content, they're going after bad AI content. And so the way we separate ourselves from the pack of spam is by having nice images. It's by having structured content within our pages. It's by having good outlines that are thoughtful and meaningful. It's by having internal linking, right? So all those pieces come together in a effective topical map that will boost your topical authority in Google's eyes and give you those KBT signals that are going to help you rank better. Okay. You can also do it. You can use it to build landing pages. You can use it to build local SEO landing pages as well. So let's say you're working with a business that is I'm right now in Las Vegas at my house, and you're trying to rank a business better in Las Vegas. If you want to rank well in Las Vegas, there's a bunch of cities in the area that maybe that business owner wants to rank for. So typically, if you guys ever look at a heat map like this, you'll see the further out you go from the business that's in the middle, the worse the rankings get, right? It's the classic antenna analogy where the business in the middle is that antenna, and the stronger the signal strength, the better the rankings are going to be as you move away from the business. If you wanted to rank better in a city that's outside of London, right, you need to have a landing page on your website that is all about that city, and that landing page should be connected or close to the landing page that's being linked to through your Google Business profile. So you can also AI generate those location landing pages and deploy them to WordPress. We have a one-click WordPress integration with our WordPress plugin, so we automate the delivery of all of those landing pages. So that's how we approach the new content generation piece. We make it automated. We make it really simple and straightforward. And it just blows out the topical authority very quickly. One thing to note about it is that sometimes Google, they can take a minute to crawl this content, because right now, when they see a website add 1,000 new pieces of content, they're like, it's probably AI generated, and they've got a limited crawl budget they give you. So there's some tricks to the trade for how you can boost the indexation of those articles. You can use indexers like Omega Indexer. They're really cost effective. That works really well. There's also other approaches where you can add internal links in your footer. By the way, they can be hidden. They don't have to be visible. You can add the same hidden div trick and add a link to all the blog posts in the footer of your homepage, and then have Google fetch your homepage, come back in like a couple days, and I can almost guarantee you most of the links you put in there will be indexed. A lot of tricks to get that content indexed. But once they index that content, it takes some time, because Google's algorithms, not all of the algorithms are real time. Some of them take some time. They can take up to a couple months to really fully calculate and see the value of what you've created. But give them time, and within a month or two, you'll see the content piece will blow out the rankings, and you'll start to rank for a whole bunch of keywords pretty quickly. So that's super effective. And then kind of like wrapping up with auto, schema markup has been a real pain for a lot of people. Some people just don't have the patience to learn how schema works because it is so complicated. There's over 1,400 different kinds of schema markup you can put on a web page, right? Depending on your client, whether they're a local business or they're a plumber or they're a med spa or they're a publisher, they'll all have different schema. And my friend Terry, who, by the way, he's hosting SEO Spring Training in April. It's an amazing event. Terry loves to give great talks about schema and how schema works. I learned a lot about it from him. And so what we're doing is we're taking best practices that people have figured out in the community for schema, and we're rolling them into this as well. So based on the website, we'll be able to automate the delivery of schema to the domain properly. And then on the GBP side, we also are baking in a bunch of GBP optimizations, like automated GBP publishing, automated GBP profile optimization, automated question and answer suggestions for the GBP, and also answering reviews that have been unanswered. One thing I want to say about this is all the content that we're putting into our GBPs, whether they're GBP posts, whether they're the question and answers, or whether we're responding to our reviews, super important that we want to include those entities in there. If you answer the reviews and you're including the relevant topics and entities that Google's looking for, it will actually boost your ranking. So use those content pieces as opportunities to boost your relevance in Google's eyes. If you guys go to Gemini and try this, go to Gemini, ask Google, why is this business not ranking as well as some other business? They will actually tell you, because they're looking at entities. That'll be one of the recommendations. It'll say, use more of the right entities on your page. They're pretty much telling you that they're using this as a ranking factor. So we can automate that delivery as well. And then some other pieces for authority building. And on the authority building side, you can never get enough. You can never get enough authority. But what we're trying to do is figure out and partner with people who have efficient ways of delivering authority to websites and layer that in here as well. So we'll be giving more authority building modules as we go. But really, when we release the first version, we're really just focused on the base layer of all the best practices on the technical SEO side, on the content side. So do you guys see now the difference? This is not like a reporting tool or a data tool. It's an action tool. It's about doing something to make the site rank better in Google and push the SEO forward.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that's an important point, and it seems to be part of your UVP is that it's not just a reporting tool, right? Like you can actually do stuff with it.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm guilty of this. In the years and years that we've been paying for all these SEO tools, if you don't do something with the tool, nothing will happen to the site, right? By paying for Ahrefs or paying for SEMrush or Moz, nothing's changing. Our rankings aren't getting better unless we ourselves take some kind of action using those insights. I think that the SEO landscape is about to change in a huge, huge way on the technology side because people don't need more data. They don't need more overwhelming information. What they need is they need action. They need tools to help us operationalize our SEO approach and deliver the best practices to the website. And I think that is the future of the space, and that's where we're going. That's all we're focusing on.
Wonderful.
And, yeah.
Okay, so one thing this kind of contradicts what you just said, but one thing I'd like to cover is a lot of people here use Ahrefs for backlink analysis. And I know that Search Atlas has a great feature for that can help them get rid of Ahrefs too. Would you mind walking us through that a little bit?
Absolutely. So, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't be doing backlink analysis or that it's not useful. We do want to do backlink analysis, but we're doing it for some purpose. We're doing backlink analysis so what? So we can figure out sites that we can prospect, right? Who should we reach out to for our next backlink? And in Search Atlas, we've got Site Explorer that allows you to do that. One thing that's cool about it is that we're bringing in metrics from all the data companies. So you don't need to just rely on one data source. You're able to get Ahrefs domain rating, which I would say is the best authority metric out there is Ahrefs DR. We also give you the Moz number too, so you can see what Moz has to say about it. We're also bringing in Majestic and their trust flow. So you have that here as well for you. And then you've got all the other metrics to see and understand the performance of this website. If you want to go look at their backlink profile, you click on backlinks. And now here we're going to bring in all the backlink data for this website. You can analyze this in many, many different ways. We have a network graph where you can analyze the backlinking distribution of the website and see how the links are connected. We've got anchor text analysis. You can also look at it on a referring domain level, which is honestly my favorite way of looking at this. I'm just interested in seeing what are the unique websites they've gotten links from, not every backlink that they have. And you can drill this down really as far as you want to go. You can filter it to look for whatever you want. The next step, I think, for most SEOs is, okay, great. I got a list of all the backlinks my competitor has. Let me do something with that. Let me reach out to those websites. So what we've also done is we've integrated a prospecting tool into Search Atlas. So we've got a digital PR toolkit that allows us to automate emailing out to publishers. And the way that you can do this is, there's a lot of different tools in there for PR or digital PR, but you can create a outreach campaign with the keywords that you're trying to target. So you plug in the keywords you want to rank for or are relevant to your industry, and you can filter the sites based on their domain rating or their traffic or their TLD or their country and set up the email you want to send to them. And it's pretty much as simple as that. You just configure this up and it will begin outbounding those publishers and sending them emails to probably for link building purposes is what you're going to do. Although you can also try link exchange opportunities where you can do reciprocal linking. There's a lot of different messaging you can try. But this is probably the most common workflow to do that type of outreach work. Also, like if you're not sure what websites maybe or what links to prospect, we've made that really easy for you with Auto. So I'm going to pop in and I'll just show you an example. What Auto does is it tracks your competitors and it says, boom, these are your competitors here. They've just gotten backlinks from these websites. Let's copy these new sites that they just got links from and add them to an outreach campaign. So every single week, we are doing new outbound to get net new backlinks to our client's website or to our website, and that can be automated. So all of, yeah, to summarize, Chris, so I feel like I'm a little long-winded today, and I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Just to summarize, you can still do all of the manual reports, all the manual stuff that you've been doing in Ahrefs. We still have all that functionality there for you. But I really believe in this future of automating this to make it easy and to democratize SEO. That's really what we're all about. But you can still do your nitty gritty research using all these tools, and we still have all that functionality available for you.
Fantastic. Give me 1 second here. I apparently did not set that link up right.
No worries.
And then we're gonna, if it's all right with you, we'll take some questions and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right, let's try that again, just to be sure. Okay, yeah, I'm assume by now many of you want to check this out. Yeah, it does. Try it again, Nelly. Good Lord, people cannot wait to tell me I'm wrong. Just go to superstarseo.com/search atlas, and that will hook you up. It wasn't working a minute ago, but now it will be working because I didn't click publish, apparently. First of all, let's thank Manick for an incredibly in-depth presentation, and I'm guessing that you probably just scratched the surface, right? Like that's just you could probably talk for hours on everything that you can do with this, right?
There's so much more in here.
Right.
There's so much more in here. It's so layered, and really, what I would suggest is if you're kind of looking at this and you're thinking about, does it make sense? Just take it one piece at a time. One thing that we did for you is we've added a huge team that's available to do onboarding for you. So once you sign up, we literally have people in there 18 hours a day, a team that I train myself. We just opened an office in Medellin, Colombia. I'm actually going to be moving there in a month. All those people have been trained by me manually for over 2 weeks, and they can help you guys get Search Atlas to work for you, answer your questions, help you do all the heavy lifting in the platform. You just click this button and it will take you into our Kumo space. Kudos to my dear friend, Lisa Parazel, for suggesting that we go this route with it. It's really kind of a fun virtual experience where you come in and you got like a virtual Sims world, and there are people in there who can help you.
Fantastic. All right, so we're going to bring up some questions. First of all, Terry says Search Atlas rocks. Terry, who you mentioned a couple of times.
What's up, Terry? Terry's the man.
We had one dickhead complaining about the @everyone tag, who I banned. I wish you could see his name so I could shame him. Wizard Button says reputation management too. And we're quite a bit behind on where these questions are. So if it doesn't make sense, just, can you elaborate on any limitations or challenges you have encountered with Ahrefs that make you think Search Atlas could address? That's kind of broad, but basically why should they use you instead?
Yeah, I think one of the big problems with Ahrefs is, well, look, it's not really built for teams. Like you get one seat. What a joke. Like we paid for the enterprise plan and they gave us one seat for our team. And you guys know this. If you try to reuse that seat for your team, they're going to block you guys out. Mm-hmm. You can't just all share the same login. So they don't really think about this from the perspective of SEO is not just a one-man band. You need a whole group of people working together in symphony to get the kind of results and the success that you need. Yeah. So our platform, we give you way more seats. We're not going to hold you back. And we're community oriented. We're never raising our prices ever. So if you guys sign up for Search Atlas, our team will never, I would literally roll over my freaking grave before we would raise prices on any of our customers. We'll never do that.
And I think Manick's too much of a gentleman to say this, but Ahrefs has consistently pissed in their customers' faces over the last year, raising prices, canceling accounts, literally making a joke out of the fact that they charge you too much in their presentation at a big conference. I don't like to talk bad about anyone, and I don't have anything against anybody there personally, but they have done a terrible job of taking care of their early adopters, their customers, and they don't even address it in a way that makes me think they give a shit. So that's another reason that you should switch. And I'm just going to move on from that topic. But Michelle says, thanks. This could be a game changer. Nina says, by the way, we have a ton of people on Twitter today, which is unusual. So thank you for that. Has anyone figured out how to schedule posts on GBP? As I haven't heard of the concept since pre-Rona. Yeah, lots of tools do that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of tools out there that have great GBP capabilities. Actually, one of them that I've used extensively is LeadSnap. They've got
Yeah,
great local SEO technology features, and they're doing that as well.
yeah.
Um,
Patrick's been on the
we're,
channel
we're
before.
yeah, Patrick's a good dude.
Mhm.
So definitely would recommend checking that tool out as well if that's something that you're looking for.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if it does this, but tomorrow or Thursday, I have Eldar Cohen from Local Dominator on too. So I think that can do it too as well. Let's see. That's me. This new add-on will be a game changer. Whoa. How does the content writer compare to onpage.ai?
Yeah, fair question. So let's actually pop into it for a second here. So we spent a lot of time trying to understand Google and how they rank information. On Page AI, if anyone's not familiar, I believe they're a tool that does something similar to this. And there's actually a lot of other companies that do this too. You guys have probably heard of Surfer SEO, um, and and there's also another company called ClearScope. But the the challenge I think that everyone has is that with this approach, the best that you can do if you're just trying to analyze the topics on these pages is you could just replicate what your competitors have done, but you can't exceed them. If someone, like let's say one of your competitors forgot to use a term that's relevant, there's no way using those other tools that you'll be able to find out, hey, that's a relevant term in Google's knowledge graph, right? Unless you knew. Well, with Search Atlas, we actually figured out how to create information gain, which is to go beyond what's already there on Google. We figured out how we can find out what are those missing pieces of Google's knowledge graph that are not present in the current SERP landscape. And so I can show you this. I can prove it to you. Here is an example. We're going to look for a row that's all red. And that will be an example of a term that no one has actually used. And here we go. We found one. So auto accident attorneys near me. We typed in car accident lawyer, but no one has actually used the term auto accident attorney or auto accident attorneys near me. And so we figured out that this is a relevant topic that we should be including in our landing page to be more relevant for Google. We actually found, and I'm just going to show this here, that one of the strongest signals, that's not the right one, but this one, top performing pages on Google rank for hundreds of keywords. This is an example of the number of keywords a page ranks for and the amount of search impressions it gets. We have access to now over 100,000 websites connected to our Google Search Console. And every single website looks like this. What that tells us is something really important about Google, which is that Google is interested in landing pages that answer a lot of different types of search intent and questions. And so by having all these terms on the page, we boost the number of keywords, we get better rankings. And I would say Search Atlas does that better than any tool in the market.
Fantastic answer. Kondakar says, sounds cool, interesting. Yash says, I'm loving this. Martin says, you can now add a social media profile to GBT. Just rolled out. Oh, that's cool now. So this actually adds visible content to websites. I'm not sure I understand that question.
Good question. So with auto, I think the question is the content that we're embedding onto the pages, is it visible or is it invisible? And right now, to be totally honest, right now, that content, most of it is not visible because what we found is that, well, look, if we add all this content to the website, is it going to look good? Is our client going to freak out about it? Is our client going to say, look, this content's too much. It's not fitting my brand story or the right design assets. So most of what we're doing is actually hidden. It's as a part of the schema layer. So Google is able to see it. The search engines are able to see it, but the visitors are not able to see it.
Fantastic. Just tried Gemini. Does it often take a break? I can't say about often, but software breaks. So
yeah,
even when Google makes it. The link doesn't work. I got it fixed now. Sorry about that. Nelly, Page is throwing an error. Yep, I got that. Daddypreneurs. It's fixed. What plan has the JS injection feature?
So we're going to be giving everyone that signs up through this webinar, or this podcast, everyone who signs up today is going to get access on whichever plan they sign up for will get access to auto. everyone's going to get access to it.
Fantastic. And then if you want to do that, it's superstarseo.com/search atlas. I realized before it was sharing it or throwing an error, but it no longer is. James says, any discounts? I think it's reasonably priced enough as it is. Dan says, do you have any case studies of this versus whatever else?
Totally. I got loads of case studies, my friends. Let me reach into my treasure chest and see what I can find. How's that? Is that pretty good?
Yeah, looks good to me.
Yeah, we literally have like a laundry list of case studies that prove that this stuff works. It's been the last 5-6 years we've been working toward it.
Fantastic. Is the data for Canada sufficient? Tools like SE ranking don't have enough data for Canada. Only option is paying SEMrush, especially for local related terms. I had somebody ask me about this about the UK before the stream as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll be honest with you guys. Our team is in the United States and South America. We spend the most amount of time testing our product and testing our tools in this market. However, we do have a lot of agencies that are in Australia, the UK, and Canada using our technology. We have support for multiple geographies. I'm just going to show you here. Here in almost all of our tools, you can change the location to anywhere in the world you want. So here's Canada, for example. And in our keyword research tool, you can also change the location to anywhere you want. And our data is coming straight from Google. So unlike SEMrush and unlike other tools, we don't adulterate that data. We want to show you what Google sees, what Google is reporting. These other tools are actually modifying it. I understand technically why they thought that was a good idea, but I don't agree with it. My philosophy is just give me what Google is saying, and I just want to know what Google sees because I'm trying to rank on Google. I don't really care about the other stuff. So you will be able to get the data from Canada in the tools, and it's going to come straight from Google Keyword Planner.
I'm glad you said what you just said, because I have a sort of on-page SEO tool that I don't really push that much, but we have. It's called Audit. And what it does is it pulls raw data from Google about what the top 20 sites are doing and just gives you that data. And I've gotten a lot of like negative feedback on it sometimes because people are like, well, this says that none of the sites have an H1 and it's common SEO practice to have an H1. I was like, I didn't inject my opinion into what I thought would do it. I'm giving you exactly what's working, and it's up to you to decide if you want to try to improve on that or if you want to use the data. But it showed me that a lot of people are used to tools that like influence, like you just said, they like put their own opinion into the data and do that. So I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that way.
Yeah, I'm that spot on. Everyone can have their own opinion, and sometimes when people in the industry move in a direction, it makes a lot of other people just follow them. There's a herd mentality, but I think it's important to be nonconformist and to just take a fresh set of eyes at everything and decide what makes the most sense for you. To me, what makes the most sense to me in my pink world is I want to see what Google is seeing. I want to know what Google search volume is. I don't care about the aggregated keyword thing or whatever. I don't care about that. I just want to know what Google sees.
Yeah. I think that extends out to beyond SEO too. Like a lot of people make their decisions on opinions rather than just looking at the facts and the data. And a lot of people that display facts and data get a lot of guff for it. Like they get judgment for using facts and data to make decisions, which is just wild to me. But anyway,
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. Can you talk us through the pricing plans? What are the prices after the free trial?
Yeah, absolutely. So right here, so these are all the tools we KO, and then we scroll down, and here's our pricing options. So our starter is $99, our growth is $199, and then our pro plan is $399. So I'll let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. The way that our pricing structure here, it does lead you toward picking pro because it's got all the features on it. However, you will get access to, I think, almost all these tools if you're on starter. So feel free to try out the starter plan, see if it works for you. The main difference is that when you graduate from the lower plans to the upper plans, it unlocks certain features that I think are really valuable for agencies. So the pro plan is fully white label. You get unlimited AI quota. We give you unlimited projects, which no one else does. Ahrefs and SEMrush, you get limited projects, and as you guys scale your consultancies or your agencies, you're going to hit those limits. We go unlimited. We're the only ones that do that, and we also try to hit you over the head with value. So what you'll find is the quotas we give, whenever you compare Search Atlas to any other competitor in any vertical, we are always the lowest priced and the most cost efficient on quota, because our goal here is not to try to nickel and dime agencies as they scale up. No, that's not the point. Our objective is we're trying to build a platform that is going to shift. It's going to create a shift in the landscape and allow all people, whether they're in United States or whether they're in Asia, whether they're in South America, whether they're in Africa, be able to get access to cost-effective SEO technology that can actually move the needle for their clients and help them build businesses. Our mission statement, my mission statement, the reason I do this is impact. I'm all about having an impact on the world. And with Search Atlas, this is how I contribute. Everyone has their own gifts and skills and talents, and this is what I'm good at. And my goal is to reach 1 million businesses through agencies and freelancers who are out there doing the work. I'm trying to empower you guys so that we together as a community can go and empower over 1 million businesses to get to Google, to get their businesses to market and provide for their families. And that, I think, is probably one of the highest callings that we in this industry can aspire towards.
Great answer. James says, how long before Search Atlas will be close to the data Ahrefs fabs? How long have you been crawling the web to date?
Nice question. Obviously, crawling the web is not cheap. It's quite expensive. And so we've been using the Common Crawl corpus of data to build our first link graph of the internet. We did that over 6 years ago. We've been supplementing that with additional crawling technology. And what we've done is we supplement our data with data from Ahrefs and SEMrush. And I want to say something that's I think a lot of people need to understand. Crawling more is not necessarily better. Ahrefs crawls more than SEMrush and other tools, but Ahrefs also has the most spam in their backlink data. I get emails every day about stupid sites that don't matter. They just crawl more information, but they also crawl more spam. What really matters from an SEO perspective, I would argue, is getting backlinks from sites that are important to Google, that Google sees as influential. Those are the sites that everyone is crawling. And so I would say just because someone has more backlinks in their data set doesn't mean it's better. If you go to Google Search Console, and the reason I can say this is because I can be confident about this, I know this to be true. We have our own GSC integration where we're able to integrate into your Search Console and download all of the backlink data set that Google sees. Guess what? Google filters the spam. Google eliminates all of the spam in your backlink profile inside Google Search Console. All that spam is completely eliminated. And so what I've learned, and I've seen this to be true, that the amount of backlinks often that I see in Search Console is less than I see in Ahrefs and SEMrush. And the reason why is, again, Google is eliminating the spam. So I would say, again, it's not about crawling more or getting more backlinks in the data set. If Google is not looking at those sites because they see them as spammy, neither should you.
It's like dating, right? Quality over quantity. You're a married guy, so you don't have to comment on that. Next up is Chris. It says, are all the auto features you demonstrated available in Search Atlas today?
Hey, Chris, great question. So everything that's in auto is available. You can do this using Search Atlas, but this dashboard auto is being released in April. April 1st is when this is going to be going live to everyone inside Search Atlas.
That's
right
brave.
Now, we're
April 1st, how April Fool's Day. That's brave to launch a new feature.
Yeah, we like to play with fire sometimes. So we'll be launching it. Anyone that has already been a part of our platform is automatically getting free quota for auto. So if you're signing up today, you're going to be given free quota for auto. If you sign up after that date, auto is going to be an additional charge. It's going to be at least $100 per activation. So if you want to take advantage of that and you want to get into the platform right now and be given one, be grandfathered in, that would be a good opportunity to do that today. But if you choose to wait, no problem at all. I just want you to be aware it's not necessarily going to be included in the plans.
Makes sense. Fizz Digital says, got it. Thanks. Philip, who I met at SEO at the beach a couple weeks ago, it says, what's the link? And that is superstarseo.com/search atlas. Had to walk away. Can you put the link in the chat? It's right there on your screen, Dara. What exactly is the expanded quotas feature? And is real-time portion of site auditor similar to Content King?
Yes, I'm familiar with that tool. Okay, here. So expanded quotas, what that means is that every tool is going to get more than double the amount of quota. So if you go from starter to growth, you'll get a lot more quota within all the tools. So obviously, as you guys know, that if you guys are using OpenAI or Claude or whatever it is, AI is not free. It can be kind of expensive, especially at scale. And we've had to meter it in these plans. So as you go from our starter to our growth plan, you're going to get more of everything. You're going to get more user seats. You're going to get more quotas for the site auditor. You're going to get more heat map credits. You're going to get more project credits, more keyword research credits, more GSC credits, more of everything. That's what we mean by expanded quotas. Okay. And then the site alerting feature, I think the best thing about the site auditor is it's not just a site auditor. It is also a site monitoring tool. So whenever you make a change on that website, let's say you add a block, is monitoring the sitemap, waiting and watching for when those changes take place. And if, for example, someone were to do something bad, like remove a title tag or remove a meta description, or a link breaks on the page, or some bad thing happens from an SEO perspective, and believe me, guys, we work on hundreds and hundreds of client websites. This happens all the time. And it's not because our teams are bad. It's just that we make mistakes. It's just part of being human, right? It's just the way it is. Teams will forget or sometimes inadvertently no index a page. Well, Search Atlas will detect that and it will alert you, send you an email and say, hey, this page just got no indexed. That title tag just got removed. Fix it before Google finds out. So your team has a chance to fix it before the search engines see it, before the rankings fall.
Fantastic. Let's see. Dan says, are we getting this presentation? Dan, you can just rewatch the video wherever you're watching it now, and it's all right there. Nelly says, is it hot? No, it's not different. Nelly says, sorry if this is covered earlier. Can the pro plan or any others created reports on activity improvements to share with clients? So yeah, you have a way. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that is an awesome question. And I've meant to show this before. So what we have is we have a SMB dashboard. This is meant to give to your client, and it's going to be fully white labeled for you. So this dashboard is going to be connected to your Autopilot. So you get a report card of the before and the after. It also integrates task boards. So this is powered by Notion, and Autopilot will automatically push the fixes it's making to the website to the task board. So you can report on this and show this to your client and say, here you go, Mr. Client. This is what we worked on this week. Here's a list of all the things that were up to date. And all they have to do is log into their SMB dashboard, or they can go to their Notion board and they'll see all the task completion that's going on. It'll all be fed into this. It also integrates with all of the Google properties. So it brings in data from Google Analytics. It brings in data from Google Search Console. It brings in data from our keyword rank tracker. It also includes the local SEO data from the Google business profile and your heat maps. It also includes the metrics from your GBP. And we're also going to be adding in AdWords and Facebook ads data as well very soon. So if you are an agency that does a lot of PPC, that's going to be included as well in here for you. This report is automatically refreshing. So whenever your client logs in and sees it, they'll see it refresh. It can also be set up to automatically email your clients to let them know that there's an update to the report. So guys, we built this because we used to do reporting by hand. We'd take screenshots, copy and paste it into a Google Doc. It took forever. Every report would take a couple hours, and our team just spent so much time just working on reporting. Now we have this automated system, and so our reports for all of our clients are automated in Search Atlas, and we just give this to them, and now they don't complain about transparency. They feel like we're giving them good feedback about what we're doing, and they can also track the performance and the results. There's also one other really cool thing about this. One of the big problems in our industry is retention. Clients walk away. They say, you know what? I'm done with SEO with you for now. I'm going to go do something else. Well, if they deactivate you, your auto installation, you will also deactivate that. And as soon as I do that, all these optimizations that you've made to the website will come with you. You're not going to let them keep it, right? It's part of your secret sauce, part of the way that you configure your SEO and deliver it to your clients. So if they walk, their SEO it'll suffer. 100% it'll suffer.
I don't want to say that's good, but that's good. James says Ahrefs plus Quora equals Search Atlas plus a whole lot more, in my opinion. Agbula says incredible. Black Jays 13 says that Autopilot dashboard is on which plan?
That Autopilot dashboard is going to be on any plan you sign up for today. If you sign up for, if you're a Search Atlas subscriber already, you're going to get access to the Autopilot system. You're going to get one activation. Yep. These are the plans.
Perfect. All right. Dan says, sorry, I thought he had more to show in his presentation versus this video. Can we get what he has available in this presentation? He's not shared about SEO in this product. Well, I think the best thing to do there would probably be to book an onboarding call, right?
Yeah, 100%. If you want to learn more about any of this, we're happy to walk you through it, talk to you about how the system works. Anything you saw in the presentation, if you have more interest in learning more about it, yeah, book an onboarding call, or you can also just message me on Facebook, DM me. I'm around.
Perfect. Black Jays 13 says that is some great stickiness right there. Cool.
Yeah, baby.
That is the end of the questions, it looks like. So I think we'll go ahead and start to wrap up. But before we do, I want to thank you for doing that. That was very in-depth. It was much more in-depth than I was expecting. So thank you. Seems that everyone got a lot from it. But before we wrap up, is there anything you want to cover?
No, I just, guys, the only thing I want to say is with SEO, remember, like, we're doing this, it has to serve a purpose. Our purpose is we're really here to be in service of our clients and get them results. And, the best way to do that is together. So, I would encourage everyone that's a part of this, be active in the community, share what you've learned, shout out your favorite gigs on Legit, on the marketplace, promote those, really support the vendors who are helping you and your business get ahead, and just be giving with that praise. You can never give too much of it. That's something you can always give in more supply. And yeah, just remember, the community is everything.
Yeah. And if you want to check out Search Atlas, it's definitely a good time to do it, because as you said, there are some features that you'll be grandfathered into if you sign up in the next 2 weeks or so, before the end of the month. So before you launch a new feature on April Fool's Day. But so that's superstarseo.com/search atlas. I know it wasn't working earlier, but it is now, and I see some clicks coming through, so that's good. Again, thank you for this. We ran kind of long, so I appreciate you making extra time. I know you're very busy. I know what it's like to run a business like yours, so thank you for that. Actually, we got somebody's taking your advice. Dan Voles says, I had a great service from Maruf SEO, who is one of our freelancers and one of our ambassadors, so that's good. And Best Miami SEO, there's your free plug, says, are the white label reports included in the starter plan?
I believe the answer to that is yes. Yeah. If you sign up, just let us know if you need that in the chat. We'll make sure it's enabled for you.
Perfect. All right. We'll go ahead and stop there. I want to thank everybody else for attending. We had a huge turnout today, which is fantastic. And I know that you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to spend your time here. So that's something I appreciate and will never take for granted. So thank you for that. And again, figure out what you want out of life. Go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. And I'll be back on Thursday with Eldar Cohen from what's it called? Local Dominator and Local Wiz. You may have seen him in a Facebook ad with a wizard hat on before. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'll see everybody in. Thanks again, Manick, and peace.
My pleasure. Peace.